It's finally time to unbox the Langmuir MR1 gantry mill. It's gonna go right here, basically where this bundle of wiring is. Chris, our favorite electrician. Hi, Chris. Chris is here, and he stubbed in this power box for the plasma cutter, which is here. The Hypertherm is here, ready for the Shop Saver table to go here. So this is gonna be our CNC area. So MR1 is gonna be in this general location. But Chris is ready to put an outlet out the bottom of this box, a 220 outlet to run the spindle on the MR1. So I literally need to unbox it right now so that Chris can know what plug to put here. So it's time. I'll bring it over here after I clean up a little bit. Open the box, Will, that's the plan. Open the box. I'm gonna bring it over here, then we can unbox it right there. Can't believe we're finally doing this. How long have we had this thing? This got shipped to us, oh boy, May. I am so sorry. And yet I am so excited. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun.
One very dead stripper in there.
That joke's. What?
Tell me how I can help you.
Oh, cool. Yeah. You want to just go up and off with this?
Yep.
Grab the back there. It's easier. I'm not on the corner. Okay. Go straight up. Yeah, baby.
Whoa.
Dude, they actually fully assembled it for us.
Hey, before you do this, can we do something else?
Yeah. I think I'm done saying that.
Whoa. Oh, free ratchet straps. Oh,
right? Dude, and like pouring that concrete in there is part of like most people's setup, so that's already done for us.
It's already done?
Yeah, dude. We're literally like turnkey on this thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
I was really expecting to take hours and put everything together.
Well, the day's young. I haven't read the instructions yet, so.
Why?
Look at this thing, dude. It could have been Christmas in July, but now it's just Christmas in Christmas. Got the epoxy top coat, nice. Wow, look at all these setup steps that have already been done for us. Amazing. I'm sure I would have messed some of these up. Dear Langmuir Systems customer, thank you for purchasing an assembled MR1 CNC gantry mill. Oh, so you can have it assembled by them. This isn't just special treatment. You can opt to have them do it professionally, so that's good. It's been carefully assembled in our Conroe, Texas manufacturing facility and has gone through rigorous quality inspections. Rigorous quality inspections and testing to ensure that it meets or exceeds our quality standards. If you encounter any issues, please reach out to us at support@langmuirsystems.com. The enclosed welcome booklet offers useful information and web links to learn about your machine. In addition to reviewing all safety considerations, we encourage you to briefly review the assembly instructions to familiarize yourself. Follow the steps below to get started with your machine. If desired, the machine can remain on the shipping pallet for operation. If removal is required, a forklift must be used to lift the machine off the pallet. The forks If the forks are not long enough to engage with both lift brackets, I guess that's what that is. Oh, literally, yeah. Nice. I bet you they will be. Insert the provided 2x4s into the slots of the lifting bracket. The forks should then be inserted as far as possible and directly in the underside of each 2x4. So with the 2x4s there, you can get it from the other side. It's almost like this was packaged by a company that has their own CNC plasma cutters. So let's place it. Door-wise, should face over here. And then of course, I want to keep that opening alleyway unobstructed. Okay. Yeah, for now. Be great if the drywall guys could come take their drywall. Do you see why we haven't done this yet? There's still stuff in the way. And we're just now getting to this in November. I like having zip ties preventing people from going in there until we're ready to go in there. Find and unwrap the cable bundle at the back of the machine and plug each cable into the assigned port. I think we should probably take this plastic off. Uh-huh.
We gotta undo.
All right, cut the doors. Hold on, don't do that, Will. Can you reach in there?
Razor blade that is dull.
I'd say we probably, is this thing bolted to the shipping pallet? I think we can go ahead and cut this plastic and probably take off the ratchet straps. We'll have some electrical details for you soon, Chris.
I'm gonna go get some material.
All right.
More conduit.
Okay. Let me see real quick if we can find the plug. Give you an update there.
Fancy.
Yeah, dude. So.
Does it look like the Future Hunter? Sure.
A little bit of damage, but I probably did that myself. Drain. I kind of think I need to pick it up. It looks like it was set. I don't want to take these off. I like having them there.
Well, in order to get these 2x4s right, we do have to take the X's off.
I see. A nut on each side. I'm just trying to find plugs and stuff.
It's got to be with the controller that all them things screw in.
Right, yeah, none of those. Oh, here you go. Voltage. Control electronics are just, okay, 10 amp, single phase, 120 volts.
They're on the side of this thing.
Yeah, this is the spindle.
It's 220 volt single.
220 single phase for that.
Oh, that's what I pulled over there for you.
Yeah, so we'll just, and I have some cable chases. We'll just end up running something across here. I've got a few, well, I've got a 3-phase plug, but all right, yeah, probably these come off, huh? I've got a socket set, Allen socket set. It's probably gonna be hardwired, but we'll figure it out. That's metric.
3/16.
Is it? Damn. Is there a lug? No, there's not a lug. So we do have to pry those off. These are nice. Just put these under your desks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. It looks pretty well built.
It's very well built.
I mean, given that this isn't like a $250,000 machine, it's under 15,000 for everything we have here, which is pretty wild.
Wow.
A lot of sticker bomb opportunities. The whole back is black, man. We can put whatever we want right there.
There's bound to be some extra linear stickers.
We could always use more.
Shop stickers.
Yeah. See, Wyatt's just as excited for this machine as I am, because
Oh yeah.
you got all sorts of things you're
The
trying.
amount of ideas and weird stuff that I'm so excited to do with this.
Yeah.
Like I've been waiting for this moment.
Well, and go ahead, because the people want to see how the Langmuir MR1 enables you to create all your weird ideas,
It's the dream come true machine.
right? These are the sort of dreams that Wyatt and I have. Some would call that a condition. I would call that pretty good life. Dude, the amount of things we can make. We can make our own like aluminum LAS like fabrication rivet tags with this, and like,
Oh, I'm guitar parts.
Yeah.
Guitar parts. Guitar parts.
Yeah.
Weird, random,
yeah.
rare. Guitar parts.
So make sure you're subscribed to follow Wyatt along in his robotic guitar part creation journey. I'm excited because I've known Wyatt for almost 10 years now, and I think since I met him, he's been talking about cool guitar parts he wants to make. Benders and tuners.
I think guitar parts might be the only 2 words in the English language he knows.
Yeah, I think he's like a Pokemon where all he says
man.
is guitar parts.
I'm just like,
When
you
he's
know,
talking, just dub over guitar parts, guitar parts.
should we get rid of this stuff underneath?
Yeah. Now, take the control box off the top first.
I will.
I don't think it's gonna fit under that thing.
Gotcha.
Oh, that ends up being the coolant tank.
Yeah.
Parts and parts and parts and parts. It was assembled in Texas. It wasn't all made in Texas. Well, and this is not gonna be a surprise to anyone, but let's just say there's a reason this is an under $15,000 CNC gantry mill, okay? It's no big secret. Made from global materials, assembled in the USA. Oh, cool. Mini keyboard.
What?
I'm excited about this little
Like a gaming keyboard.
Here's collets, so it uses ER20 collets.
Vice clamp set.
That's probably gonna go with that.
Toe clamp kit. Ooh, yay!
Carbide cutter. Carbide
Oh,
inserts.
yes, sir.
And the pump, that actually stays in there. Because this becomes the coolant reservoir.
I'm looking at the 2 columns right here.
Oh, fair enough. A standard welding plug right here. That way because I use that for everything else. And then I'll just make a jumper.
Yes, sir.
So this was the plug that the lathe ran off of.
Hey, Tay, how much distance do you have on that thing?
Huh?
Do you have any slack?
Not a ton.
I'm thinking about just putting another plug on it for now.
I mean, I can just use the
the whole
box
thing?
and the plug. I can use the box and the plug. I just don't need the cord.
Okay.
Right.
So when you get your MR1, it comes with this welcome packet. And in here is a bunch of QR codes. And so I'm here in the getting started assembly part. And when I scan that, there's a really long, well-detailed, easy to follow set of assembly instructions. So the first part of this is how to assemble the machine. We got ours fully assembled by them. So we're down here at step 9, mount electronics and decals.
So what we're doing now, the looks like the MR1 comes with a the plug. It's some sort of dryer plug 220 thing. We've got a pretty standardized this plug for our whole shop. Every one of our welders, all of our 220 stuff goes on the same plug. So what we're doing is we're converting that. Instead of going to the shop, I'm butchering my homemade extension cord so that we have the female end that we can put up on the post, and then the male end that we can swap with the cable on that cable itself.
Locate the driver selected for the upgrade. Find the 4-wire terminal with the unbraided wires. That would be this one. Using a small flat screwdriver, loosen the terminal, securing the left 2 wires on the terminal. Pull the wire out and reverse the position of the two wires so that the wires are in the opposite terminals. Okay, okay, great. So we now have an upgraded Z and X axis. And when we get there, we can upgrade the Y axis. So it allows that axis to have more force. So the reason the Z came upgraded, and I learned this from the guy on the customer page, was that the Z axis is what actually forces the drill bit down into the material. And he was finding that it was working a lot better when they gave that Z axis a lot more power. So we're good. Dude, this power ratchet is an IKEA furniture wet dream. Okay. Computer stand. We get to unbox the computer now. All right, the Langmuir Systems Machine Controller PC. So this is a full-on little mini PC. It's got Intel UHD Graphics 600, DDR4, 4 gigs.
Whoa.
It's got 64 gigs of eMMC, which is probably soldered on board. Yeah, SoC. It's got an M.2 SATA SSD slot, expandable.
Whoa.
Got an SD card slot. It's got Wi-Fi built in.
Okay.
So that's how it works with the internet. HDMI output, 4K, 60 hertz. It's got a VGA port. It's got HDMI, it's got an audio jack. It's got an Ethernet port, 3 USB ports, an SD card slot, a DC jack. Powered it. So it's got internet connectivity and it's a PC. So we could definitely play Bloons Tower Defense on this.
Yes.
I wonder if it's running Windows though. It's definitely like a NUC, basically.
Yeah.
Like, now we touch the monitor. Freaking touch screen, dude. So there's your VESA mounting side. Stylus. So at this point, I need power to the machine. Y1 axis. So there's the 220 and the 110. Well, I need to level the machine. Actually, hold on. All right, you're good.
It's like watching an old person on a cell phone with a giant font, you know?
We bought a remote for my grandma before she died that was this big, and the buttons were the size of 50-cent pieces for the TV. Yeah, that's a real thing. Everything seems to be working. It is running Windows for those that are curious, so that's nice. Offline account. Okay, so I have run the machine through the spindle break-in program, and now I'm working through the Langmuir Systems online manual, into which there are embedded videos. So, and you go down step by step. So I just watched the maintenance and lubrication video. Next is the loading a tool in the spindle video. And he just talked about this tool, which is a variable pitch, 1/2-inch end mill. And we're gonna load this in the machine, and I'm just gonna follow along with the video manual. This handsome fella in the manual is gonna walk me through everything. You're kinda gonna just watch me watch a video, but just wanna film everything so we have it.
Our tools and our spindle.
All right, got the spindle in the machine. Got the 1/2-inch collet in here. And got the 1/2 inch end mill in here. These colorful ones are made for aluminum, and they're 2 flute. The 4 flute end mills are made for steel. They're variable pitch and variable something else. But that is in there, it's tight, it's mounted properly, and this is what we'll be using to face this. So the next step is to these pre-installed base plates. They're not perfectly flat, and they're probably not flat with each other. So we're gonna run a pass. We're using this end mill to precision mill the surface of these base plates so that we have a precision reference surface and it is calibrated to the machine. So once that's done, we can actually, the vise will be mounted in a precise way, and everything we clamp to it is gonna be perfectly square with the X and Y axis of the machine. So I'm gonna go back to the computer, follow along some more instructions on the software side of things. Eventually here we'll be adding coolant to the machine, and I don't know if there's a pre-programmed base plate surfacing program or not. It might just be, I don't know. We'll see. I'll get back to you when I figure out what is going on. Whoa, drop the camera. Okay, so here's where we're at on Mr. MR1. I just watched a video about how to set your Z0 for the first roughing pass on the base plate. Essentially, simply put, the logic is, and this comes from all sorts of machining operations. You kind of bring your cutter down and barely kiss your material to find out where that contact point is. You look for what's called a witness mark. The way you do that here is, what you want to determine is which of the 4 corners of the base plate is the lowest, because then you'll mill everything else to that point. There's 2 aluminum billets that have been machined in certain spots, countersunk screws that are holding them down, and then threaded 1/4-20 holes at regular intervals that we'll use later for all of our fixturing and our clamps and whatnot. Here, it looks like we've got some screens for our coolant. Our coolant will run back down into here, and those 2 feed these big tubes, so they run down into the reservoir. In here is a pump. There's no coolant in there yet, so I need to add that. We have our enclosure, of course. We've got some protectors here to keep the chips away from everything, and we've got our bit in the collet, and everything is happy. So yeah, I kind of have to take off here in real time, but that doesn't matter to you because the next thing you see is me running through that process. Yeah, but you can see here, it's very cool. I don't know how well you can see that, but it shows you the tool path that it's gonna take. It's just a bunch of X, Y, or X-axis movements with Y advancing. Again, just like you would mow your yard, or like some people mow your yard. Maybe you're fancy and you do something else, but that's how I mowed my yard. But yeah, starting to really like the touchscreen. I like the interface. Everything on here makes a lot of sense. You've got your manual jog buttons here. Well, I just ran it into something. But anyway, you got your manual jog buttons over here, jog speed and jog step. You've got you can zero out your coordinates up here. You have a send to front button, coolant button. You got manual spindle control. So you can open that and set your spindle speed. You got your 0 button. Up here you can load your program, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, like the machine so far. It's pretty easy to use. As far as CNC milling machines go, which are fairly complicated machines, this has been a very approachable and easy process so far. So see you soon on the next part of this video. Hey everybody, I'm back and it's Saturday and it is time to pick up where I left off. So the first thing I'm gonna do is use this stuff that came with the machine and fill up the flood coolant reservoir underneath the machine. So this stuff says to use 5 to 10% concentration with water. So 10% of 5 gallons, like a 5-gallon bucket, is half a gallon. This is 1 gallon. So one of these makes 10 gallons. So I'll pour half of this in a 5-gallon bucket, fill the rest of it up with water, dump it in there, and that should be enough to get us started. Okay, so I got a 5-gallon bucket and this. So half of this goes in here, fill the rest of it up with water, and then pour it in the reservoir down there. It's like a cooking show. And here's one I prepared earlier. All right, 10 gallons of coolant in the reservoir. So to pick up where we left off on the base plate milling, I'm gonna go touch off in each corner of the base plate to find the low spot. We'll zero our Z-axis at the low spot, and then we'll run our base plate milling program and mill this base plate with a 1/2-inch end mill. So let's tram around and find it. Now, we load our program, which is the base plate surfacing program. We go to our XY0. Theoretically, we should just be able to hit start. I'm a little nervous. Let's hit start. Hey, we're milling. First surfacing cut's complete. Let's move this thing out of the way. All right, so let's blow this off and see what we got. Look at that. What a strange pattern. I'm assuming the finishing pass will have more overlap. Watching this handsome gentleman from Langmuir walk me through some steps now. So I got to do the touch off again that we did before, but you got to find the lowest spot in here. So looking at these patterns, looks like it gets wider as it goes down. So the low spot's probably going to be down here or down here. So probably going to touch off in 4 spots here and find the low spot. And then what they recommend to do is go ahead and set your zero for 5 thousandths above your actual zero, so the machine will cut 5 thousandths lower than your 0 point, just to ensure that this next pass gets the entire thing. So I'm gonna do that now. How'd you survive, little buddy? You okay? All right, so the second pass has been completed and it milled every part. So let's blow this off. Look at all these chips we're making. Much smoother.
Wow.
Still little ridges, but it's called a roughing pass for a reason. It's not supposed to be perfectly smooth. But what it is now is perfectly flat. How about that? So for the finishing pass, we're gonna do it. We're gonna take only 3,000th off, and we're gonna move at 60% of the feed rate. So what we do, we've already gone to our XY0, we're gonna go to our Z0, and then we're going to answer the phone. All right, so we're going to manually calibrate our Z-axis, 0.003 for a 3,000th cut, and we're gonna do a feed override of 60%. Here we go. Very, very tiny. Thank you. Need to make a
Really good finish pass for doing these base plates. And the nice thing about it is that
Yes. Look at this, man. This was from the finishing pass. We basically made like aluminum wool. All right, so we vacuumed, we cleaned, we brushed, we collected, and there is the final result. Perfectly milled, flattened base plate. How about that? So there's a few steps left to do now that this is flat. The next step is to calibrate your Z-axis runout. So we'll put a known square object on this surface. We'll attach a runout gauge to the Z-axis, and we'll tram it up and down resting on that known square piece and see how much nod we have in our Z-axis to see if this head is nodded forward or backward at all. The acceptable tolerance for this machine is within 2/1000ths front to back nod on the Z-axis. So hopefully that's been dialed in. I'll need to check our check sheet, but they wouldn't have been able to do that at the factory because they wouldn't have milled, they didn't mill this. So that is for sure something I have to do. So that'll be the next step. But as far as today goes, Saturday, that is it. That concludes the base plate milling on our MR1 gantry mill from Langmuir Systems. Very, very exciting. Very, very happy to have this machine, and I cannot wait to show you guys what we have in store for it. Okay, so obviously I'm very, very stoked on this machine. I have more learning to do. I've only just now milled the base plate. We have paying jobs ready for this machine. I have buddies in the automotive world that are waiting to mill some custom parts like transmission adapters and all sorts of stuff. So get ready for some MR1 content. This is my first real introduction into CNC machining. You know, CNC, this is basically 2 axis. This adds the 3rd axis. So there's actual reductive machining, subtractive machining going on. And there's a lot that I could break. So stay tuned to see me succeed or fail. Either way, it should be very entertaining. So shout out Langmuir for coming up with this machine. If you'd like to learn more, of course, go to langmuirsystems.com. or just Google the Langmuir MR1. And in real time, I'll be at PRI in a few weeks with the Langmuir and Shop Saver boys up in Indianapolis. And I kind of need to know what I'm talking about. So it's important for me to do some learning and take you guys with us. So strap in, stay tuned, get subscribed. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoyed. See you on the next one.